Just a couple of things that I wanted to focus on here. One is the question of the church and state issue here. We're hearing an awful lot about the fact that people are testifying before you saying, I believe marriage is between a man and a woman because of what the Bible tells me. They're speaking on behalf of their faith. And others are listening to that and saying, well, that's inappropriate. We're talking about a secular world here. We're talking about government here. And what I'd like to suggest to you, I think you really need to keep in mind, is every person's faith has to do with trying to uncover the truth about who we are as human beings, about who we are as a human society, about why we're here on the earth. And that perspective is incredibly critical to the discussions we have here before government. None of us come to public policy decision-making without some kind of moral judgment. Our laws are based on moral judgment. They're based on an understanding we, as the American experiment, are all trying to figure out together. So it is very appropriate on an issue having to do with such a fundamental question, the question of how does any human being get here on the earth, except through the agency of a mother and father, that you're seeing such a groundswell of reaction to this issue from the faith community. So I just want to really stress the faith community belongs here when it comes to this issue. As far as how do we address the people who are in our lives that we love, the families who are in our lives who are not protected under the law according to what we're hearing, we need to find a way to do that perhaps. Redefining marriage is not that. And finally, you'll hear a lot about the religious exemptions coming on further, but I just want to make it clear that from the church's perspective, it isn't simply a matter of we're being begrudging compromise on this issue when it comes to religious liberties. That's not our first concern, is protecting churches. Our first concern is the issue of what does marriage mean for all of society, and not whether or not we're exempt from having to recognize marriage.